welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I have another video for you in which I analyze your gameplay. If you're interested in more World of Tanks reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. In addition to this, you can now also support me on Patreon, so feel free to follow this link and become a patron. And now, let's go! If you guys want me to review and analyze your gameplay, then send your replay to wotwithbruce@gmx.de. If you want to know how you can download replays and send them to me, just watch the first video of this season. In this video, I explain everything you need to know. Keep in mind that your video should either be a loss or at least gameplay which could need some improvement, because after all, we all want to learn something out of it. Now, having that said, let's start with the replay. Alright, first game with, once again, It's a Dude, so thanks again for sending me your replay. We're playing in a tier 8 matchup with the VK3601H, so low tier situation, and let's reduce the speed real quick in order to have some analyzation. Now, in my opinion, this is the inferior side, because if the enemy team knows what it is doing, they will push towards this position. And so in my opinion, there's only two choices: either go here to get some crossfire, or go with the heavy tanks. And then in my opinion, you could stay here and snipe, but as a heavy tank, this is certainly not what you want to do. You certainly also don't want to play against the 7032 in the heavy brawling lane. So let's see what your choice is, and let's move forward. Now, I have camouflage on all of my tanks, even on heavy tanks. And keep in mind that you only need camouflage on the hull, not on the turret, and neither on the gun, in order to increase your camo value. Now, obviously, the camo value of a heavy tank is always bad. However, let's say you were at the end of the game playing against a tank like the Tiger number 6, the heavy tank number 6, then obviously in this situation your camo value would even matter. So let's see how it goes. Your tier 8 heavy tanks are going to the heavy flank, which is understandable, and in my opinion everything so far is correct. Looks like the T50 T52 is pushing aggressively, very aggressively towards this position, which is questionable in my opinion. And yeah, it looks like you are a little bit unsure of what to do, but this is understandable. And being in a tier 6 heavy tank in a low tier situation in a tier 8 matchup, things are extremely difficult, and there's really not much what you can do. So good gameplay here with spotting the Panther M10. It looks like he has maybe he was partially covered behind the building, so he could not spot you, but you were able to spot him. It looks like the enemy tanks are very aggressively, which is good for them, bad for us. And now you have to either run. Yeah. Okay. So now what you could do, I would actually use this tank number 6 as cover. So behind him, turn around, and then try to fall back into cover as fast as possible. And then, in my opinion, as you are extremely inferior to the tier 8 heavy tanks, what you should do is you should fall back and make sure that you work with the view range circles. So you should put those tanks in this position so that they cannot spot you and you can get shots on them. So as you are moving backwards with reversing your tank, you are very slow, and it takes a long time for you to be back into cover. Now, I would even further fall back, maybe to this position, because as long as you're here, those enemy tanks can and will spot you once you shoot. So in my opinion, you should put, once again, you should fall back right here. So to put those tanks between your view range circle and between the max render range circle in order to get as many free shots as possible without having to fear of being spotted. Now, you should certainly repair your engine because moving with a damaged engine is just bad. And then I think there's not much what you can do except trying to do those sniper shots. Then this is obviously bad luck. Questionable is, in my opinion, your choice of using the large repair kit as well as the small repair kit. Now, I can understand you using the large repair kit and then the large first aid kit. I would actually, what I do is I use the small ones just to actually, I cannot say that I am saving money. Actually, I am saving money. However, the advantage obviously of the large repair and the large first aid kit is that you get an additional bonus. This one I think reduces the chance of your tracks being damaged, or gives you actually some additional protection. And same applies for the large first aid kit, and I think it also reduces the time that is needed in order to for your tracks to be repaired, something like that. So you have an advantage with the large repair, large first aid kit, and you can certainly use it. However, it is more costly, and obviously what I do is I try to sell it in order to make money. So I think you would have had enough time to fall back. Here we go, nice. Now you made some damage, which is good. Yep, I also would have taken this shot, and now look what happens. You finally repaired your engine, but now it is actually too late in order to fall back. So you are now trapped, and I mean, like in this situation, the only safe place would be somewhere around here next to your teammates. So holding this flank alone on your own against tier 8 and tier 7 heavy tanks is like there's no chance you will successfully do this. Even if you're playing against bad enemies, because you're just so inferior compared to them. So nothing what you can do here. I think the game is already lost, and I think you should have fallen back much earlier. Let's see how it goes. Unfortunately, they are not pushing you. Right now, you could still try to fall back and try to link to your team. Looks like the only tank that has advanced is the IS-22, so turn around and fall back here and try to support your teammates either here or here and conduct second line gameplay right here. You had enough time to do so. Actually now, this is very funny, as the enemy team did not decide to kill you. I mean, you have 187 hit points, so the IS-22 should have just stayed here, taken another shot, taken you out, and then the game would have been over for you. But instead, they decided to not do this. Okay, now you're spotted, which is not good, but now... It's too bad, yeah. Okay. Alright, so what else can I say to analyze the situation? So obviously playing in a tier 6 heavy tank in a low tier situation is bad. In general, if you're playing in a heavy tank and if you're in a low tier situation, your armor is worth nothing, and obviously your mobility is still bad, so you only have disadvantages, but you have no advantage compared to other tanks. So this is the worst situation in World of Tanks, so not much what you can do about it, and so obviously your result will not be as decent as in a top tier situation, especially in a heavy tank. Now what you could have done though is to fall back, conduct let's say defensive gameplay. You could have put the heavy tanks in between your view range circle and your render range circle. This way you would never have been spotted, you know, during any shot you might have taken. And then you could even have fallen back right here and try to seek the, you know, to try to support your other tanks. Now at the end, in which the enemy tanks did kind of leave you here and move to the right to the M2Y, I think it was the right decision to advance and take a shot on those tanks. Now unfortunately the IS was behind cover right here, and so as soon as you are spotted you need to fall back into cover. Yes, you had bad luck with not hitting like the center of the turret of the IS, because you would have penetrated the turret with your APCR shells. But anyways, you need to fall back as soon as you are spotted, because you have no surprising factor whatsoever. So he has the advantage, because if he's a good player, he will just sneak out a little bit, bait your shot so that you shoot without hitting him, and then he has all the time in the world to move out of cover and take a shot on you and take you out. And so this is what you have to expect from a good player. And so as soon as you are spotted, fall back and just, you know, take another situation. Maybe fall back completely, or just you know, take another opportunity. So all in all, I think the very reluctant defensive gameplay at the very beginning was due to the fact that you were low tier, so no problem with this. And then you used APCR, which is the only thing you can do against tier 8 heavy tanks. You had bad luck with your shots, in my opinion, and in the end you should have fallen backward much earlier, in my opinion. And this would have given you the chance of making one or another shot on the enemy team. But yeah, hey, that's how it is. Obviously those games are not fun for anybody, and that's just how it is. If you're finding yourself in a low tier situation with a tier 6 heavy tank, then that's just the worst setup that you can get. But this time you are in a top tier situation. This is how things can change very rapidly in World of Tanks. And obviously in a top tier situation things are completely different. So we are now spawning on Erlenberg in the north, and I think with being top tier you can play much more aggressively. Now obviously the problem with the VK3601H is that your armor is lackluster and you have to conduct smart gameplay in order to trade positively. Now the good thing about this tank is, as you have 1320 HP, you have a lot of HP to trade, and if you trade wisely and positively, then you can make the difference on the battlefield. That is the strength of this tank. Sorry. So you're moving towards the city, which is understandable and which I would do as well. And now, in my opinion, the first thing you have to do is to kind of, you know, be patient and collect intel on where the enemy heavy tanks are going. And if you have, you know, some kind of picture, then you can decide what to do next. Nice, this is very nice gameplay. Side scraping with this tank actually works, and it's the best way you can trade positively with this tank. So right here, this is exceptionally good gameplay, because you are actually denying the enemy the opportunity or the possibility to take damage because you're side scraping, but you are ready to make damage as soon as the enemy is peeking out, which is good. It looks like most of the enemy tanks are playing on the other side of the city, which is good. Bad. Too bad. A little bit more. Okay. He was taking a shot on you. Now you should move back, because he will cross in a couple of seconds and you might get another shot on him. Once again with the side scraping technique, which is third option. Nice snapshot, but you made your damage, which is good. Reduce the sensitivity of the mouse just a little bit in the sniper mode, in order to be a little bit more accurate, or in order to have the possibility to aim a little bit more accurately. This is obviously always kind of a preference, so don't take this as a, you know, you must do this and that. It's just a technique and a preference, question of preference. So far so good. Nothing has happened. The game is pretty close still, and so it is the correct gameplay to just you know, stand here and just you know, look for opportunities to make damage and to take out one or another tank, just like the M10 RBFM. It is extremely good gameplay to instantaneously punish those tanks who are making a mistake. So yeah, you can certainly get easy damage without receiving damage on your own. Nice. As you can see, you are spotted, plus enemy tanks are shooting at your position. Nice. This was a good trade in my opinion, to receive 144 damage by the Stoke 3, but on the other hand, to take out the enemy tank. And now I think that the zoom level 2 would be the preferred option. This is a good example. So in this situation, what I would have done is I would have right-clicked, entered the zoom mode, and my standard zoom mode is ×2. And in this situation, this is the correct zoom mode, and so this is my recommendation for you. So set up your settings so that you, with the right-click, enter a zoom mode in level 2. And then you are just faster to react on tanks that are close to you. Now you should repair your ammo rack in order to restore your DPM and your reload time. Good thing about, once again, about the PK3601H is it's a great amount of HP. So yes, you have lost 900 HP approximately, but you still have 413 to go, so this is very good. Plus the gun obviously is relatively precise. Fully aim in, perfect, and you even track him, so you should continue with a track shot, but you are spotted and you fall back, and that is the exactly correct, the exactly right gameplay. Now you might be able to take out the artillery. Fortunately, the RT is stopping behind the building. I think your zoom level, your standard zoom level is level 8, and in my opinion, zoom level 2 is the correct one, because if the tanks are far away, then you have enough time to move over from ×2 to, let's say, ×8 or even ×16 or 25. By the way, ×8 or ×16 or ×25 have to be activated in the settings menu. But if the tanks are close, just like in the other situation, then you certainly don't want to have ×8 zoom level. So this is why my standard setup for the zoom level is ×2, and I think it is the correct. So you should certainly have repaired your ammo rack in order to get back your DPM, because then you would have had the opportunity to take another shot from the T1, and you could have taken out this tank. But so far you made 2,200 damage, which is an excellent result on the VK3601. Once again, another situation in which you could have used ×2 zoom level, but I think like this horse is certainly dead now. Right now, in my opinion, you actually know where every tank is. So let's pause here real quick. So You know that there are two tank destroyers in the game. The Stock 3 is right here. The Bishop is here. The VK is right now currently spotted here. The Cromwell is here, being one shot. And maybe the Digger Max has advanced, but now it is time to play aggressively. As soon as you know the location of every enemy tank, you can actually make an aggressive gameplay without any risk, because you know that the Cromwell is here. You have 413 HP, so even if he gets the first shot advantage, you can easily out trade him, or let's say take him out by using your HP that you have preserved so far in this game, and so you can play aggressively and just push out the Cromwell. So it is crucial in World of Tanks to recognize when you have the full picture and when you have full SA on the remaining enemy team. This is exactly what I was talking about, so very nice. Now you have to fall back into cover because you are spotted, and if this tank was aware and would take a look on the minimap, he would know that you are right here, and he could take you out. So fortunately he is not. Unfortunately you can take him out, but a good player would have reversed behind the cover and would have tried to take a shot on you, and so you have to do the same. And you should have fallen back into cover. Now obviously your ammo rack is still not repaired, and then looks like the Digger Max has moved over here. So once again, the game is won, and now it is time to still continue with your smart gameplay in order to make as much damage as possible. Now in this situation, what you could have done is load to the HE shells. Yes, you only have 270 alpha damage. However, penetrating the side of the let's say the roof of the Digger Max is basically not a problem at all, and so you could have further increased your damage. However, obviously on this tank the difference between 220 and 270 alpha damage is not too much. Plus with HE you always reduce the probability of penetrating, or actually penetrating the enemy armor. So yeah, not really a mistake, I would say. However, it is a mistake to not repair your ammo rack, because you just cannot get as much damage as you possibly could in the game. But yeah, obviously 3000 damage in a tier 6 heavy tank is a superb result, and overall a pretty good job in this game. And so yeah, obviously sometimes you get the luck of playing as top tier, sometimes you have the drawback of playing as a low tier tank. That's just how it is. But overall, I would say good job receiving an ace tanker in this game. Alright guys, that was it for today with my analysis of your replays. How do you like this series? Will you send me replays as well, or do you prefer some gameplay of me in which I offer tips and tricks? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.